Welcome to the Explainer. Let's just get right into it, because if you play an MMO, I know you've been here. You find that awesome, unkillable God mode healer build on YouTube, right? You spend weeks, maybe even months, farming the gear, you set it all up, and then you get absolutely vaporized in your first fight. So what gives? Today, we're going to tear down that whole idea of a perfect build and show you how to build something way better. A build that's perfect for you. Okay, let's start with the single most important, non-negotiable rule in the entire support playbook. It sounds really obvious, I know, but it's the one thing that gets lost when we're all chasing those huge, flashy numbers. A dead healer is useless. Your number one job isn't just healing your team, it's staying alive so you can heal your team. And this right here is where so many of us go wrong. We see these content creators posting insane scoreboards, like 6 million healing, and we think, wow, that's the goal. But if you look at the realist healer side, you see the truth. Huge healing numbers? A lot of the time that just means you weren't getting focused at all. The real measure of success, the number that actually matters, isn't your healing done. It's your death count. So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the copy-paste trap. Then we'll build a healer's foundation from the ground up. After that, we're going to decode the stats, look beyond the build sheet itself, and finally, take you from just a copier to a true creator. All right, section 1, the copy-paste trap. So why does that so-called meta build work for the streamer but just fall apart for you? Well, it's because a build is so much more than just gear. A lot of the time, they're playing in a super coordinated group that's peeling for them, protecting them, a luxury most of us, let's be honest, just don't have. And this is the critical difference. I mean, look, anyone can pump out huge numbers when you're just standing in the back, healing one guy, completely ignored. That's easy mode. The real test, the real mark of a great healer, is when you're being focused by the entire enemy team. And you're not only staying alive, but you're keeping your team alive through all that pressure. That's where a truly good build proves itself. Okay, so let's build that proper foundation. And I mean, forget specific gear sets for a second. We need to talk about the rules, the principles that apply to every single successful support build, no matter what class you're playing or what items you have. Think of your job like this hierarchy of needs. And the order here, it is absolutely non-negotiable. Number 1, first and foremost, don't die. Your survival comes before anything else, period. Once you've got that handled, then, step 2, keep your team alive. And only after that, as a distant third priority, do you even think about providing buffs and other support. Mess up step 1, and you never even get to do 2 and 3. So, what does don't die actually look like in terms of numbers? Well, it all starts with your health. You want to aim for a baseline of at least 30,000 health when you're fully buffed up. Then, you'll need around 30,000 magicka to actually cast your heals. And you can't let your stamina drop below 18, maybe 20,000, so you can block and dodge roll. Get these stats right, and you've got your foundation. Now for the really fun part. Let's decode the stats. We're going to dig into the math behind your heals so you can understand which stats give you the most bang for your buck, and more importantly, when to use them. First, you got to know about the 2 main types of healing. You've got your heals over time, or HOTS. These are your bread and butter, the steady, passive healing that keeps everyone topped off. Then you've got your burst heals. These are your emergency panic buttons, the big, instant heals for those oh-no moments when someone's health bar just disappears. Now listen, here is a massive mistake a ton of players make. You look at the number on your skills tooltip and you think that's the heal you're going to get. But in a real fight, no way. Your healing is constantly being changed by everything. Your target's buffs, your own buffs, enemy debuffs. The number on your character sheet is just a starting point. It's rarely what happens in combat. So for those steady heals over time, what's the best stat to focus on? The math is crystal clear, and this chart shows it all. Stacking that percentage-based healing done, from your champion points or the ritual Mundus stone, it gives you the highest and most reliable output. It actually outperforms a high spell damage build when it comes to HOTS. But what about those emergency burst heals? Well, as you can see, the whole strategy flips on its head. For that one massive, life-saving heal when your buddy is about to bite the dust, stacking crit chance gives you the highest possible heal. That one crit can literally be the difference between winning the fight and wiping. Okay, so let's just boil all that down into a simple guide. If your goal is strong, consistent healing with your HOTS, you prioritize healing done. If you want those huge, clutch emergency saves, you prioritize crit chance. Spell damage is really for more of a hybrid playstyle, someone who wants to deal some damage too. And Max Magica, just think of it as your gas tank. Get enough to keep going, but don't stack it hoping for bigger heals. All right, we've got the stats covered, but that is only half the battle. Now we have to talk about how you play, because your play style, that is part of the build. And this is a perfect example of what I mean. A Templar healer has some amazing skills, but they're often stationary. You have to stand still in your own glowing circle, so that forces a certain kind of playstyle. A sorcerer healer, though, they can get a massive burst heal from their pet while they're zipping across the battlefield. Their whole style is built around mobility. Your gear has to work with that, not against it. And look, no gear set in the game can buy you these skills. Good positioning is a constant dance. Proactive resource management is critical. A good rule of thumb is to try and never let your resources drop below 50%. And kiting, using movement and the environment to stay alive, that is what separates the good healers from the truly great ones. Okay, let's bring this all home. We've built the foundation, we've decoded the stats, and we've tied it all back to your playstyle. It is officially time to stop copying and start creating. And I absolutely love this quote because it just hits the nail on the head. Masterful build crafting isn't about inventing something totally new out of thin air. It's about understanding all the different pieces, the sets, the stats, the skills, and then putting them together in a new way, a way that works perfectly for you. So here it is, your path forward. It's a simple 3-step process. First, build that survivable foundation. Do not compromise on this. Second, pick your stats based on your goal. Do you want consistent hots or do you want big, bursty saves? And third, adapt all your gear and skills to complement how you actually like to play the game. So I'm going to leave you with this one question. Following the meta build, sure, it'll make you a good healer, but understanding the principles behind it all and using them to create something that is uniquely your own, that's what will make you legendary. Thanks for tuning in.